Lesson 1, Dinner and Drinks.
Hey there, Anna. I was thinking we could try that new Italian place for dinner tonight. What do you say?
Ooh, that sounds delicious. I've heard great things about their pasta dishes. I'm definitely in.
Wonderful. I'm craving some authentic, homemade Italian food. It'll be a perfect way to end the work week.
Absolutely. And we can make a whole evening out of it, dinner and drinks, maybe?
Sounds like a plan. What kind of drink were you thinking of having with your meal?
I was picturing a nice glass of red wine to complement the rich, savory flavors.
Excellent choice. I was thinking the same thing. A big, bold Cabernet would pair beautifully.
Definitely. Or maybe even a smooth Chianti, that could be really nice as well.
Ooh, yes, a Chianti would be lovely. Gets me in that authentic Italian mood.
Exactly. And of course, we'll have to save room for some tiramisu or cannoli for dessert.
Absolutely. Can't have a proper Italian dinner without indulging in some classic Italian sweets.
Agreed. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. I'm getting excited just planning this meal.
Me too. Alright, shall we go ahead and make a reservation then?
Yes, please. The sooner the better, I say. I'm already looking forward to it.
Wonderful. I'll take care of that and send you the details. This is going to be a delicious evening.
I can't wait. This is exactly what I need to start the weekend off right. Thanks, John.
Of course, Anna. I'm happy to make it happen. Catch you later.
Lesson 2, Weighing the Options.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your thoughts on this potential career opportunity I'm considering.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm happy to provide any input I can.
Well, the position seems like a good fit for my skills and experience, and the salary they're offering is quite reasonable.
That seems reasonable. Have you considered any other potential benefits or drawbacks to the role?
That's a good point. I'm still trying to weigh all the factors. For example, the commute time is a bit longer than I'd ideally like.
I see. The daily commute can definitely make a difference in overall job satisfaction. Have you looked into remote or hybrid work options?
That's a great suggestion. I'll have to dig into that a bit more. The company does seem open to some flexible arrangements.
Wonderful. That could really help offset the longer commute. What about work-life balance and company culture?
Good question. From what I can tell, they seem to value that work-life balance, but I'd want to get a better sense in the interview.
Absolutely. That's an important factor to really understand up front. The culture fit can make or break a job.
Definitely agree. I'm hoping to get a clearer picture on all of that when I meet with them next week.
Sounds like a solid plan. Just be sure to ask plenty of questions to get a well-rounded view of what the role and company entail.
Great advice, thanks Anna. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk this through with me.
Of course, John. I'm happy to lend an ear and provide any insight I can. Just let me know how else I can support you in this process.
Will do. Alright, I should probably get going, but I'll be sure to keep you posted on how things progress.
Lesson 3, Mapping the Nation.
Hey Anna, I was reading this fascinating article about the historical organization of countries into different administrative units.
Oh, that's interesting. What kind of units were they divided into, exactly?
Well, the article mentioned that the smaller local divisions were typically called counties.
I see. And what about larger regional units within the country?
Good question. The article said those bigger divisions were often referred to as states or provinces.
Ah, that makes sense. It's interesting how countries have developed these hierarchical administrative structures over time.
Definitely. It seems to be a way to organize governance and public services on a more localized scale.
Absolutely. Having that multi-layered system allows for more targeted policymaking and resource allocation.
Exactly. The article talked about how it evolved historically, with counties being the foundational building blocks.
I can imagine that provides a useful framework for things like tax collection, law enforcement, and infrastructure planning.
Yes, exactly. The counties serve as the primary units for a lot of those core government functions.
That's really fascinating. I'd be curious to learn more about how the delineation of state/provincial borders came about as well.
Good point. The article mentioned that was often influenced by factors like geography, demographics, and political boundaries.
Interesting. So it wasn't necessarily just arbitrary lines drawn on a map, but a more organic process.
Right, it sounds like a lot of thought and consideration went into mapping out those larger regional divisions.
That makes sense. It's amazing how entire countries can be structured and organized in such a methodical way.
Definitely. It's a really intriguing topic to dive into. I'm glad I came across this article, it sparked my curiosity.
Absolutely. Learning about the administrative frameworks of different nations is such an insightful way to understand their history and governance.
Well said. Alright, I should probably let you go, but thanks for chatting with me about this, Anna.
Of course, John. I always enjoy our conversations about interesting historical and political topics. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Catch you later.
Lesson 4, Miniature Marvels.
Hey Anna, I was just reminiscing about the fun we used to have as kids playing with miniature toys.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Those little worlds we'd create were just so imaginative and captivating.
Absolutely. Like making a whole tiny kitchen setup in a shoebox, or using bottle caps as plates.
Yes, exactly. And having to wear doll's clothes to fit the scale of the miniature environment.
Ah, yes. It was all part of the charm. Everything had to be perfectly scaled down to the tiny proportions.
Definitely. It really sparked our creativity as children. We'd spend hours meticulously designing and constructing those miniature scenes.
Definitely. I remember how proud we'd feel when we'd completed a new addition to our little makeshift world.
Me too. And the sense of wonder when we'd play with the finished product, almost like we were giants peering in.
Exactly. It was such a fun way to let our imaginations run wild. Those were really special moments from our childhood.
Absolutely. There was something so magical about being able to create an entire miniature universe with just a few simple materials.
Couldn't agree more. It's amazing how much joy and entertainment we got out of those humble little setups.
Definitely. It just goes to show how powerful the power of imagination can be, even with the most basic of tools.
Exactly. Those miniature marvels really fostered our creativity and problem solving skills as kids.
Absolutely. It's a shame we kind of grow out of that playful, imaginative mindset as we get older.
I know, it's a bit of a shame. But at least we have those wonderful memories to look back on.
Definitely. And who knows, maybe we'll find ways to recapture that magic in our own unique ways as adults.
I hope so. In the meantime, I think I'll have to dig out some of my old miniature toys just for old time's sake.
That's a great idea. I may just join you in that. It could be a fun, nostalgic activity.
Sounds like a plan, Anna. Alright, I should get going, but this was a great trip down memory lane.
Lesson 5, A Regrettable Bite.
Hey Anna, I have to tell you about this funny thing that happened to me earlier today.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's the story?
Well, I was trying this new snack, and I took a big bite without really thinking about it.
Oh no, what happened? Don't tell me it was way too spicy or something.
Ha, no, not spicy, just way too big of a bite. I instantly regretted it.
Oh no, that's the worst. What was the snack? I'm picturing you struggling to chew this massive mouthful.
Ah, yes, exactly. It was this crunchy, seeded cracker that I thought would be a nice, light snack.
Uh-oh, those can be deceptively dense. I bet that was quite the mouthful to try and tackle all at once.
Definitely. I just popped the whole thing in my mouth without any consideration for the size.
Oh, John, that sounds painful. How did you recover from that? Did you have to spit it out or something?
Well, I tried to power through it at first, but it quickly became clear that was not going to work.
I can imagine. The struggle must have been real as you tried to chew that down.
Ah, yes, it was not a pretty sight. I ended up having to discreetly spit out most of it.
Oh no, that's so embarrassing. Did anyone see you doing that?
Thankfully, no one was around to witness my moment of snack-related failure.
Well, that's a small mercy at least. Although I'm sure it still wasn't a very pleasant experience.
Not at all. I learned my lesson about taking smaller, more manageable bites of crunchy snacks.
I bet. That's the kind of thing that makes you think twice before repeating the same mistake.
Absolutely. Next time I'll be sure to pace myself and savor each bite properly.
Good plan. Slow and steady wins the race, especially when it comes to tasty treats.
Ah, yes, exactly. Alright, I've shared my embarrassing snack story, so I should probably get going.
Ah, thanks for the laugh, John. I'm sure we've all been there at some point. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, Anna. Catch you later.
Lesson 6, Grocery List Collaboration.
Hey Anna, I was hoping we could put our heads together and come up with a grocery list for the week.
Ooh, perfect timing. I was just thinking I needed to restock a few essentials in the fridge and pantry.
Great minds think alike. Alright, let's start making a list. What items do you know you need right off the bat?
Well, I'm definitely running low on fresh produce, things like spinach, tomatoes, and carrots.
Got it, we'll add those to the list. What about protein items? Do we need any chicken, fish, or eggs?
Good call. I think we're still doing okay on chicken, but we could use a couple fillets of salmon.
Okay, salmon, check. And how about eggs? Do we have enough for the week?
I'd say we're probably getting low on eggs too. Maybe a dozen to replenish the supply.
Sounds good. Alright, what else? Any baking or pantry staples we're running low on?
Let's see, flour, sugar, and olive oil are probably getting depleted in the pantry.
Perfect, we'll add those. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head?
Ooh, and we should probably pick up some bread and crackers as well.
Excellent, I'll make sure to jot that down. Anything else you can think of before we head to the store?
I think that covers the main essentials. Did you have anything specific in mind that you needed?
Not that I can think of offhand. I'm happy with the list we've compiled so far.
Alright, then I'd say we're all set. Shall we head out and tackle the grocery run?
Sounds good to me. Perfect time to restock the fridge and pantry. Let's do it.
Excellent, let's go. I'm ready to check everything off the list.
Lead the way, Anna. This is going to be a productive trip to the store.
Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work when it comes to grocery shopping.
You got that right. All right, let's get going.
Lesson 7, Exploring Pine Ridge.
Hey Anna, I was reading about this really cool national park called Pine Ridge that I think you'd love.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one before. What makes it so special?
Well, from what I gathered, it's a bit more off the beaten path and less crowded than some of the bigger, more popular parks.
Interesting, that sounds right up my alley. I do enjoy getting away from the tourist traps sometimes.
Exactly. The article said it has this really serene, peaceful vibe to it. Spectacular natural scenery without the massive crowds.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. What kind of landscapes and activities does Pine Ridge offer?
Well, it's known for its rugged, forested terrain and towering rock formations. Apparently, there are some great hiking trails to explore.
Ooh, that sounds right up my alley. I love getting out in nature and going on scenic hikes.
Thought you might. And the article mentioned that there are also some beautiful, less crowded lakes and waterways to discover.
Even better. I could go for a nice, relaxing day of hiking and then cooling off in one of those peaceful lakes.
Definitely. It seems like the perfect place to escape the hustle and bustle for a bit.
Absolutely. Is it far from where we live, or is it a relatively accessible national park?
Good question. From what I gathered, it's a bit off the beaten path, but still within a reasonable driving distance.
That's good to know. It'd be nice to have a nature getaway that's not too far away.
Exactly. I think it could make for a really nice, rejuvenating day trip or weekend excursion.
I'm sold. We should definitely look into planning a visit to Pine Ridge soon.
Perfect, I was hoping you'd be interested. I'll do a bit more research and we can start planning an itinerary.
Sounds wonderful, John. I'm already picturing the serene landscapes and feeling myself de-stress.
Same here. Alright, I'll dig into the details and get back to you. This is going to be a great adventure.
I can't wait. Thanks for the great recommendation, John. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Anna. Chat with you soon about our Pine Ridge trip.
Lesson 8, Gym Class Collaboration.
Hey Anna, I was wondering if you'd be up for a quick workout session at the gym?
Ooh, that sounds great. I was just thinking I need to get in a good strength training session.
Perfect, I had a feeling you might be interested. They have some dumbbells and a bench set up over in the corner.
Awesome, that'll work perfectly. We can do some basic strength training exercises with those.
Exactly what I was thinking. Want to start with some overhead presses and bicep curls?
Definitely, those are some of my go-to moves. Sounds like a great way to get the muscles working.
Agreed. And we can mix it up with some squats and lunges too to hit the lower body.
Love it. Okay, let's do this. I'm excited to get a good sweat going.
Me too. Alright, let's head on over and get started. This is going to be a great workout.
Absolutely. I'm feeling pumped and ready to put in the work. Lead the way, John.
You got it. This is going to be a good one. I can already feel the energy building.
Same here. Alright, let's do this. Time to get our fitness on.
That's the spirit. Okay, I'm grabbing the weights, you take the bench. Let's get after it.
Sounds good. I'll warm up while you get set up. This is going to be fun.
I agree. Alright, I'm all ready. Whenever you are, let's dive in.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. Time to get those muscles working.
You got it. Alright, one more rep. And done. Nice work, Anna.
Thanks, you too. Phew, I can already feel that one. Ready for the next set?
Absolutely. Let's keep the momentum going. This is going to be a great workout.
Lesson 9, Homestay Hospitality.
Hey Anna, I was just reading about this really cool homestay program that some students participate in when studying abroad.
Oh, that sounds interesting. What exactly is a homestay program?
Essentially, it's where the students live with local host families instead of in dorms or apartments.
I see, that must be a really immersive cultural experience. Living directly with host families.
Exactly. The article said it allows the students to fully integrate into the daily life and routines of the host family.
Wow, that does sound incredibly valuable for learning the language and customs of the host country.
Absolutely. The host families are tasked with welcoming the students into their homes and helping them adjust.
That's so thoughtful. I imagine it provides a much more authentic cultural exchange than a typical study abroad program.
Definitely. The article mentioned that the host families have the students living in their actual homes, not just renting out a room.
That's so neat. It must create a really unique bond between the students and their host families.
Exactly. It allows the students to truly experience what daily life is like in that country or region.
I love that. It sounds like such an enriching way to immerse yourself in another culture.
Agreed. The article said many students end up forming very close relationships with their host families.
That's wonderful. It must make the whole study abroad experience feel so much more personal and meaningful.
Definitely. I can see how living with a host family would enhance the cultural learning aspect tremendously.
Absolutely. It's such a cool concept. I wonder if there are any opportunities like that locally that we could look into.
That's a great idea. I'll have to see if there are any similar homestay programs in our area.
Perfect. It could be a really neat way to experience a new culture without having to travel too far.
Agreed. I'll do some digging and let you know what I find. This seems like a fantastic way to learn.
Definitely. I'm really intrigued by the idea now. Can't wait to hear what you uncover.
Will do. Alright, I should probably get going, but this was a great conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing this with me, John. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, Anna. Catch you later.
Lesson 10, Watercolor Painting for Beginners.
Hey Anna, can I pick your brain about something? I've been wanting to try my hand at watercolor painting.
Oh, that's a fun creative outlet. I'd be happy to share some tips for beginner watercolor artists.
Great, I'm all ears. I've been really intrigued by the medium, but I'm not sure where to start.
Okay, well, the first thing I'd recommend is getting a good set of quality watercolor paints. The pigments make a big difference.
Ah, good to know. I'll make sure to invest in some high quality paints then. What else should I have in my beginner's toolkit?
You'll also want some nice watercolor paper. It needs to be able to handle the water without warping or tearing. And a few good brushes in varying sizes.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll have to do some research on recommended paper and brush types for watercolor.
Definitely. And don't forget a palette for mixing colors, a water container, and paper towels for blotting.
Got it, good call. I imagine there's also a bit of a learning curve in terms of technique, right?
Absolutely. Watercolor is all about understanding how the paint and water interact. Start with simple shapes and gradients to get a feel for it.
That sounds tricky. Any specific tips for getting the hang of the watercolor technique?
Well, one big thing is to work with a lot of water and let the paint flow. Don't try to over-control it. Embrace the organic, unpredictable nature.
Okay, that's good advice. I'll have to just experiment and play around with it at first.
Exactly. And don't get discouraged if your first few attempts don't turn out how you envisioned. Watercolor is all about practice and patience.
Good point. I'll keep that in mind. This has been really helpful, Anna. I'm excited to give watercolor a try.
I'm glad I could provide some useful tips. Let me know how it goes once you get started. I'd love to see your watercolor creations.
Will do. Thanks again for taking the time to chat about this. I appreciate the insights.
Anytime, John. Enjoy the process of learning a new creative skill. It's so rewarding.
I'm sure it will be. Alright, I should get going. But this was great. Talk to you later.
Lesson 11, A Beach Getaway.
Morning, Anna. I've got something exciting to share with you.
Ooh, do tell. I'm all ears.
Well, I've been planning a little beach vacation, and I wanted to see if you'd be interested in joining me.
A beach vacation? That sounds absolutely heavenly. Where are you thinking of going?
I was looking into a nice coastal resort town, with sunny beaches and all the relaxing amenities.
That's my idea of the perfect getaway. Relaxing by the beach sounds like a dream come true.
I'm so glad you feel the same way. I was hoping you'd be up for a little beach escape with me.
Absolutely. When were you thinking of going? I'll have to clear my schedule.
Well, I was hoping we could make it happen in the next few weeks, if that works for you.
That would be wonderful. I'll start looking at my calendar right away.
Fantastic! I'm already envisioning us strolling along the shore, taking in the salty sea air.
Ooh, and sipping refreshing cocktails while watching the sunset. I'm so excited, John.
Same here. This is going to be the perfect little getaway to recharge and unwind.
I couldn't agree more. I can't wait to start planning all the fun activities we'll do.
Me neither. Shall we get started on the booking and itinerary planning?
Absolutely, let's dive right in. This is going to be an amazing trip, I just know it.
I'm sure of it. I'm really looking forward to this beach retreat with you, Anna.
Lesson 12, Computers Made Easy.
Hey Anna, I wanted to ask you about something. Have you been having any trouble with the computers at work?
Computers? Not at all. I actually find them pretty straightforward to use. What kind of issues are you experiencing?
Well, to be honest, I'm not the most tech-savvy person. I always feel a bit intimidated by all the buttons and features.
I see. Don't worry, John, using computers is really not as complicated as it may seem. Let me share a few tips.
Oh, that would be great. I'm always looking to improve my computer skills.
Okay, well, the key is to start with the basics. Just focus on the essential functions you need, like logging in and navigating the various programs.
Logging in, got it. That part one can handle. But then what? What are some of the other basic things I should know?
Well, things like sending emails, accessing files, and using common software like word processors and spreadsheets.
That doesn't sound too bad. I think I can manage those day-to-day tasks.
Absolutely. And the more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you'll become.
You make a good point. I guess I just need to dive in and get hands-on experience.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to experiment and explore the different features. The computers won't bite, I promise.
Good to know. Alright, I'm feeling inspired to give it another try. Thanks for the pep talk, Anna.